Morning, everyone. Hopefully you can all hear me and see me okay. Just give it a couple of minutes because it's just gone 11 o'clock to see who joins us this morning. Nice sunny Friday morning. So thank you everybody for taking your time to join us. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you'll all get something from what I'm going to say in the next half an hour or so. Just give it a few more seconds. Hi, Carol from sunny South Wales. Thanks for joining us. Oh yeah, there's loads of you jumping on now. Oh, hi, Lucy from Guernsey. Oh, hi, Sam. Hi, Uma. It's my face again on here. All right, I'm going to close those questions. And I'm going to press play. Oh, hi, Sarah is on. Right, I think we're going to get going. Right, okay. I think my slides are done. Right, let's get going so we're not keeping you all too long. So good morning, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my face has been around on a few different webinars recently, but my name is Victoria Campion, and I'm just going to spend the next half an hour or so talking to you about my journey with Forever, focusing on what I've been really doing probably the past 4 or 5 months of the year, a little bit about what I did before or what I didn't do before, and how things have changed for me during lockdown. So I'm just going to tell you a little story, and hopefully as we go along it'll inspire 1 or 2 of you to get going with your business like I have done with mine. So my journey started with Forever in September, October 2016. Prior to Forever, I had a background in accounts and finance, and I worked in a family business with my dad and my brother. Really exciting, doing signage for restaurants and pubs and things like that. When I had my daughter in 2011, I always knew that I wanted to be that stay-at-home mum, like my mum had been for me and my siblings. It's just really what I wanted to do. We were in a really fortunate position that Tom had a good job, which allowed me to do this. So I got to, take Scarlett to all the baby groups. I got to see her take her first steps. I got to do all that weaning. I really was that hands-on mum that I really wanted to be. Fast forward 3 years and we moved from Newcastle down to Oxfordshire for Tom's work prospects. His job was the sole income, so we had to move down south for his job. And I was about to have my second baby. So the start of my journey really was when Grayson, I think you can see it in the far right hand side picture, was when Grayson was 2, and my husband said to me, Vicky, what are you going to do now that Scarlett's at school full time and Grayson's going to be going to nursery next September? And he said, I think you're really going to be bored at home and I don't know what you're going to do with all of your time. And as much as I hated to admit it, and I thought I was always going to be that stay-at-home mum, he was actually right. I had worked since leaving school. I'd gone to university, although I didn't get that finished just through different personal circumstances. And then I'd gone to work in the family business. So I knew I wanted to do something. I just didn't know what. I knew I wanted to have some financial independence, but also that I wanted to see the children seeing me achieve something and seeing that you could have that balance of being mummy and wife, but also having something for me and a business really that I could build myself, because I've always kind of quite liked being an entrepreneur and doing something and helping people. So yeah, I knew that's what I wanted to do. But after 6 years of being on maternity leave, your confidence goes. I'd lost myself a little bit. I've been surrounded by children for the 6 years, and I really didn't know what I could do anymore outside of the kids. But I knew there had to be something out there. So when I started to look, it soon became apparent that nobody wanted to employ anybody who was only prepared to work Monday to Friday, 10 till 2, no weekends, no late shifts, and needed 22 weeks off to cover school holidays because we had no childcare near us. But what did exist was this business opportunity. I just didn't realize it at the time. So I had a coffee with a mum from school, Sam Jeffries, who had come into my life, and she seemed to have the financial independence. She drove a lovely car. She was going on amazing work trips, seemed to be working with really amazing people who were achieving lots, and she was always happy. She loved what she was doing. So wear that smile, because attraction marketing does work. So I met her for a coffee, and that's the picture that you can see with Grace, and that's literally the day that I registered with her. She showed me exactly how she did it, how she balanced life with the kids, and I just thought, tick, this is it, this is what I need to do. So I went home and said to Tom, there's £200 coming out of your bank because I've just started a new business. So getting to work, what I did. So things went really well to start with. I listened to Sam, who's my upline. I plugged into trainings. I read books. I listened to audios. I did exactly as she said. I held my first launches. I started speaking to people. I did events. You know, I brought the kids with me. I did everything that I was told to do. 3 weeks in, I got my first team member, Claire, and I thought, yes, this is it. We're off and we're ready to go. Claire was a local mum who lived... she was actually the first person I met when I moved down south, and we went to a baby group together. She had a young family, and I realised that when I got speaking to her, she was in HR and was commuting to Liverpool, I think 2 or 3 times a week for work, and she absolutely hated it. She got pregnant with her third child, and when she did that, she realised that she couldn't do the commute anymore. So I showed her what we could do with Sam over a coffee, and 3 months into my business, I remember she came here with Tommy in the baby carrier at 3 months old, and she said, right, I'm in, where do we get started? So that was my first team member, and what I thought would be the start of a really quick journey, but it really wasn't a quick journey. So I got to Supervisor, what I thought was going to be quickly, from the September, October 2016 to July 2017. So what's that? About 9 months it took me to get to Supervisor. This was with me and Claire, 2 other people in the business, not exactly pushing for chairman's bonus, but I loved what I was doing. I was earning a couple of £100 a month, £300 a month for me that I could just spend on myself. I was loving what I was doing. I was loving the new friendships and the people that I was meeting, and I was learning a whole new set of skills that I'd never come across before. But looking back, although I seemed outwardly confident, inside I was a bit of a quivering mess. I was scared. I was worried of failing. I was worried what people thought of me. I just had this fear of not being able to do it. I've always been a high achiever, and when I do things, I want to do them to the best of my abilities. And because this was so different to everything that is normal out there, I just never seemed to get going. So I protected myself and I stepped back. But actually, by stepping back and protecting myself, I was always going to fail. I was never going to achieve what I wanted to achieve, because I just wasn't doing what I should have been doing. And I just never seemed to get going, because I doubted myself, and you really can't doubt yourself. I didn't take the business seriously enough and give it the recognition that the business needed to have. So I was definitely the law of sometimes. So from July 2017 to December 2019, the law of sometimes definitely applied to me. And Beth Turner, the lovely Beth Turner, talks about the law of sometimes with retailing. I was the law of sometimes at building my business. Sometimes I would speak to people about the business. Sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I would speak to people about the products. Sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I would follow up. Sometimes I would book events. Sometimes I would do launches. You get the idea. I was that sometimes person. There was absolutely no consistency in what I was doing at all. And really, as the quote says, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. And I just didn't have a daily routine that I was sticking to. The only thing that I did do consistently was my 4cc. You know, I coached to do that from the very start, and I built up to my 4cc, and that's just a picture of me getting my suitcase. And again, I kind of achieved this, and I thought, oh, there you go, I've done it now. And I kind of took my foot off the gas. And you just really can't afford to do that if you want to proceed up the marketing plan. If you're not wanting to move up the marketing plan, then you don't need to be as consistent, because you might just be happy retailing and doing 2, 3, 4cc. But if you really want to achieve things, you've got to be consistent in everything that you do. So what happened next? So December 2019, I was asked to speak at the QLS Kickstart event by Natalie Healy. Natalie messaged me and said, will you come on stage with me and do a slot? Well, what do you say when Natalie asks you to do a slot? Yes, of course. What am I going to be talking about? Fears. Great. Fears I had aplenty, and talking about being fearful in a room of amazing FBOs who I didn't think could learn anything from me was definitely fearful. But this for me was actually a massive pivotal point in my business, because it made me look at myself and think about what I was doing, what was holding me back, and why I wasn't moving forward to where I wanted to be in my business. And the answer was literally staring back at me in the face. It was me. I had to be honest with myself, and I knew what I had to do. I just wasn't doing it. I had to stop worrying about what other people thought about me. You know, I just had to get on with my job description, what I was meant to be doing. I was doing myself a disservice, and I was doing my team a disservice because I wasn't leading from the front. And how can I show them and tell my team, the team that I did have, what to do if I wasn't doing it myself? You've really got to lead from the front, and do it yourself. So, you know, the reason there are so many occupations out there, you know, there's tree surgeons. Being a tree surgeon isn't for everyone. Being a nurse isn't for everybody. Being an accountant isn't for everybody. Being an air hostess isn't for everybody. And that's what makes us all so different. And once I realized that I was just doing something for me, and I just had an opportunity that all I needed to do was share with people, and it wasn't wrong, it wasn't bad, it wasn't negative, it was just a different way of working that worked for me and could potentially work for other people. That's when just something clicked, and I just took any personalness away from it and just saw it as a job description and what I needed to do. Some people it would work for, some people it wasn't, but I wanted to find the people who it would work for. So I had to change my thinking, and I had to change my outlook. Remember what I was doing and why I was doing it. I was doing it for the financial independence. I was doing it for my children. I was doing it so that Tom could take a lesser paid job so he could be at home more. I had to remember all of this, and I'd lost that focus in the months because I just got stagnant, and I just got it. Being stagnant got to be the norm. Doing my 4cc was the norm. Not recruiting became the norm, and something had to happen to change that normal. I didn't have a plan. I was making excuses, but it was actually time to stop. So this, you can see here, my business became stagnant. If you aren't where you are in your business, in your personal life, you really need to take a step back and actually think about where you are, why you're there, and why you aren't moving forward, and just be really honest with yourself, because if you're not going to move forward, as I've just said. So business wise, you can see there my personal and my total active, because I was recruiting there. This is the beginning of this year. You can see that I was doing my 4cc and business was building, but really it was stagnant at 24, 25, 22, round about the 20cc point through every month, and it had been like that for almost 24, 25, 26 months. Little did I realize how much my business would change in the 11 weeks since the QLS weekend, and that was really the best thing that could have happened to my business. And this just shows the growth actually that my business has had in February, March, April and May. And May it's even higher now because I sent this slide on Wednesday. So what have I done since January this year to turn my business from 15, 19, 20 cc's up to where it is now? I've read a few books. I've read Go Pro Again. I've read Start With Your Why. I've read the Colour Personality book that I got at the QLS weekend. I've listened to audios. I've listened to webinars, and I've really got my mindset back in check, and I've just started getting to work. But I'll be honest with you, all you really need to use is your first steps to manager, your trackers, your profile sheets, and your who do you know list. That is what you need to use to get serious about your business. Also, I needed to be working with my team, the team that were there. We needed to work really closely and develop new business, because it's only with new business that you can drive yourself forward. Katrin Bari's done a couple of slots, and if you haven't seen her, watch her. She's done them at the QLS events before, and she talked about new customers and new business being the only way to move yourself forward. And that is definitely true. You need to go out and find your new customers and your new business partners who you're going to be working with. So what I'd done in sort of like November, December, and then January when I got serious, following the first steps to manager. I came home, I printed out a brand new who do you know list. I went through my Instagram, I went through my phone book, I went through Facebook, literally, and started afresh with my who do you know list and started working down it, not picking names off it, just working through. I did my 7-day plan at the beginning of the week and planned out what I was going to do. So that when I sat down to do my work, everything was already there, and I just went off and highlighted it off. And it's really satisfying when you're highlighting stuff off because you have done them and you've achieved them. Slowly through doing that, momentum started to build, even though at the time I didn't realize it was starting, but I just kept going. I didn't give up. I kept messaging people, I kept speaking to people, and I kept retailing my product because consistency is key. So following up with everybody, you know, keeping in touch with my customers, that's all we need to do. It's really easy, but it's in your head. You can't overcomplicate it. You don't need to. All we need to do is share the business and share the opportunity. We all know that there is a 6 to 12 week lead time when you're speaking to somebody about the business before they make a decision whether it's for them. Now, in February, when I started contacting people, I didn't know that lockdown was going to happen, but lockdown coincided with that 6 to 12 week lead time from me speaking to people. So had lockdown not have happened, would I be in the same position? I don't know. You never know how things are going to happen because this external influence has changed the way that we are all working. People are reassessing their lifestyles, the way they're working, the way they're looking after their children. Everything has changed in a really short space of time. It's definitely helped my business, and it's helped me to be more focused. It's helped me to be more productive. I've got to work more time smart because I'm usually sat in this room here with my 2 children doing schoolwork. So all of my work's at the side, and I'm fitting it in the pockets of time in the morning when I'm working with them, and then I'll spend some time on my business in an evening when they're in bed. So people have definitely changed the way they're looking at the business because now it actually works for what they want, and they've got more time to look at it as well. So it's perfect for us to show them the business during lockdown. So as a result of the messaging in January and February, I recruited 2 in January. I recruited 1 in March, the day we went into lockdown. She got our box. 1 in April and 1 in May. Now, as I said, I'm not a super recruiter. I really wish I was. And the only way to get to be a super recruiter is to do more of what I'm doing. I know that. But given the past 3 years, this is just incredible for me. And more importantly, the team were duplicating what I was doing because I was leading from the front. The team were doing exactly the same. So in lockdown, really, for me, the only things that have changed for us and the options that have been taken away for us is we can't do outdoor events, we can't go to play groups, we can't do tabletops, we can't do aloe bars, and we can't go out contact marketing. Everything else for me, we can do exactly the same, and we can actually do it even better because our business is perfectly set up to take online. So since lockdown, what have I done? Launches. So my very first online launch was for this brand new business owner that had got started with us, got her box on the 20th of March. Didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I had to get her business launched, and this was the only option that was available to us. But actually, they were amazing fun. They're really exciting. They're really interactive. They're easily duplicatable, most of all. They only take 30 to 40 minutes. There's no big setup. There's no big tidy up afterwards. And they're just easy, and you get instant results as well. So they are fantastic. And I've done a couple of trainings on the online launches. So if you haven't seen them, have a look back at them. But they are just incredible to do. And I think even after lockdown, I'm going to continue doing these as well. Business presentations, they're all online. So we've got company BPs regularly. We've got team BPs weekly, focusing on different occupations. So we've got teachers doing one, we've got personal trainers doing them, we've got beauticians and hairdressers doing them. So we can really tailor them to the prospects that we're talking to and get them to tune into relevant business presentations for them. People aren't going anywhere, and sometimes it can be quite hard to get people to a local business presentation if there is a local business presentation to you anyway. So people are at home, we can get them online and we can show them, so we can access a lot more people a lot more easily, in my opinion. Contacting people, do it the same as you did before. You pick up the phone, you share a text message, you drop them WhatsApp, you FaceTime people. We're contacting people more actually during lockdown because we've got nothing else better to do with our time. And it's nice to talk to people, and people feel that they're valued. So just messaging people and contacting people for me has been enhanced for the better whilst in lockdown. Team meetings, All team meetings have just gone online. So we have Zoom calls, we've done planning meetings, we touch base more regularly because it's better for people to be accountable as well if you're talking to them on a regular basis. And power hours are working amazingly in our team as well. We have about 4 power hours a day that people can plug into if they want to. And it just gives you some focused time to spend an hour on your business, and then you can go off and do whatever you want after that. You know, play with the kids, do some cooking, whatever you need to do. Making use of customer pages. So I was a bit hitty-missy with social media, but now I've got more time to jump on and I can be that famous word, consistent. So I can show people doing lives about the business. I can show people I'm doing lives if I'm playing with the kids outside or going for a walk. I do a mixture of business and non-business related posts. Mini launches in your customer page. You don't need to do a big launch. You can just do a little launch on your customer page. You can do 2 literally products where you're comparing the Infinite Cleanser and the Sonia Cleanser. You can just do literally a 2-minute video where you're talking about that. That is a mini launch because people are there in your customer page. You can do mini facials. There are so much you can do, but in your posts as well, you can do lifestyle posts. You know, it doesn't all have to be about the business. It can be showing people, you know, stress relief tips, advice on different things that you're doing to cope during lockdown, and just being positive. That's all you really need to be, because everybody needs a little bit of positivity and it's not all doom and gloom out there. And also showcase on stories. Stories are brilliant. If you're not confident on your main profile pages, do it on stories. It's there for 24 hours and then it disappears until you build your confidence up. Most importantly for me, one of the major things that I changed is I made a plan and I set a goal. Once I started doing this alongside my 7-day plan, I didn't take a picture of this, unfortunately, for Sam to put on the slides, but I broke down my CCs for what I needed to do. So this month I knew that I needed to do about 56 case credits, and it's been great to tick them off every single day. I had a plan there, I had a goal there, and I'm ticking them off every single day. It's showing what I've done as opposed to what I haven't done, and showed me getting closer to my goal. And the kids got involved on this and they loved it, going, "Mummy, how many CCs can we tick off tonight? What have you done today?" So once I made a plan and once I made a goal, things changed. And everybody says it and it's so simple, but honestly, it really, really did work. Instead of seeing lockdown as a problem, I saw it as an opportunity. And I think once you get your head around that, then you become much more efficient and work much, much better. So as I already said, my first online launch, we retailed £350 in that one night for a brand new team member. That showed her confidence in the business. It showed people who were on that launch what we did. And from that, as I say, we retailed £350 and she recruited her first team member from that launch, which has been amazing because that team member then has duplicated and done the same. So Shabana, who started at the end of lockdown, has duplicated and duplicated again, which has just been incredible. Then I was asked to share our experience on the Excellence Roadshow. Sam Jeffries and I jumped on with Jane Leach and we did a slot about our online launches and how we're using social media during lockdown. That was great. We were all buzzing from that. It built the momentum and excitement in the team. It's all about excitement and momentum. It really is. And I could show people outside of the business what we did and the support that we had, the community that we had built. And it was just really, really exciting. But genuinely, I didn't realize how much the next 6 weeks would change when I did that training. As I've already said, I worked really, really closely with Claire, and Shabana had duplicated what we were doing as well. And in April as a team, we got 8 new team members on board. Now that was just phenomenal, and it really was a tipping point in what we were doing. But that wasn't just instant from what had happened. This had been from months and months of talking to people over time, because as I say, people had readjusted their thinking and their thoughts and what they wanted, and were looking at the business differently. So some people joined after speaking them over a couple of months. Other people joined after a launch, like what Shireen did after Shabana's, after her launch. So it was a massive boost to the team, and we absolutely smashed April just through the momentum that got going. So in April, as you can see from here, my business went from 19.761 case credits to 23.895 in March. And then in April, I got 51.111 case credits, which took me over the 75 to get my assistant manager promotion, which was just incredible. I really, really couldn't believe it. But then something else happened since I received the phone call last week and all the slides went out saying that I was assistant manager, because as it stands today, we're on over as a team over 60 case credits with 2 days to go. And I hit the manager promotion on Wednesday night. So that was really, really exciting. And the great thing for me is that Claire is following me up behind, and touch wood and ensures nothing goes wrong, which it won't. She will be hitting her assistant manager promotion over the weekend as well, which is just incredible. And we've got some supervisors following us through as well, so it's just been an absolutely phenomenal couple of months. And all of the people who are joined are going to be 4cc active as well by the end of the weekend. So it's just been really, really good. The sense of achievement is just incredible. And I think, to be honest with you, it just hit me this morning that I have actually hit manager, which has just seemed so elusive to me for so long. But it just goes to show the power of actually committing to something, getting a plan, getting a goal, and working with those people really closely. So I've already said how amazingly proud I am of my team, but I just need to say a massive thank you to my best friend Sam for her unwavering support and encouragement, and to Natalie and all of the managers in her team who do so much for us. The trainings and everything, sometimes they give you a push and a nudge and you don't want to do it, but sometimes it's the best thing that really can happen to you. So as I say, my journey hasn't been quick, it hasn't been groundbreaking, but it's been my journey, and I really have loved every single second of it. So sometimes, just to leave you on a few little points here, sometimes when I joined, I think one of my sticking points was everybody seemed to be achieving promotions really, really quickly. And although that was amazing, I thought, yes, you know, this is what's possible. It actually intimidated me, and I think it pushed me back a little bit. So just be comfortable with going at your pace, whatever that pace is. You know, I wouldn't have been ready 2.5 years ago to get to manager. Now I am. I understand everything and I'm enjoying it so much. I really, really am. So be comfortable with how quickly you are moving through. I'd love to say I've invented a new way of talking to people. I've got a magic message that gets people to join, or I've got a magic message that gets people to spend £200 per order, but I haven't. I've just taken my business seriously, and I've had fun with it with my team, because it really is a team effort. If you're smiling and you're laughing and you're enjoying what you're doing, you want to do it more. And this really has been my mantra through the past 11 weeks of lockdown. I've really thoroughly, honestly enjoyed every single second of what I've been doing. As I say, I'm no expert. I'm really not. There's people who are much more incredible than what I've been doing, have achieved amazing things, but this just shows what is possible literally in 4 months if you really sit down and commit to it. And it's achievable for every single one of you out there if you haven't done it. And if you've done it again, requalify for manager, requalify for supervisor, because it's going to build your business. And this is where my business starts today. I need to requalify for everything again to get my business going. So it is possible to grow your business from 20 case credits to over 60 case credits in literally 6 or 7 weeks, because I've done it. So I hope this has inspired or motivated some of you to achieve your goals, whether it's being 4cc active, whether it's moving up the marketing plan. Whatever you do, just do it consistently. So a couple of my top tips: be honest with yourself. Does your work ethic match your expectations for what you're going to achieve? Because they go hand in hand. Work on your confidence. Work with people in your team who inspire you, who motivate you, and who are going to empower you to work your business when the tough gets going. Get excited. It's infectious. If someone's excited, it just bubbles inside of you, and you want to be the best that you can possibly do. Work time smart. Plan, and set a goal. Really set a goal. Work to your team's requirements and understand that there are going to be people in your team who are happy just doing 1cc or 2cc, but also work with those people who want to go for supervisor, assistant manager, and manager, and build those big case credits as well. Get active and get involved as much as you can on online launches, on team training. Really do it, because by doing it, you're going to grow your business. And at times you might not think that you are, but honestly, you really, really are. Be engaging and give people a story to follow. People love following people and seeing what's going on in their lives. We're nosy people. You know, humans are nosy, so give them something to look at. Because again, that's going to build your pipeline. And as I've said 100 times before, be consistent and it will happen. So I just want to leave you with this quote: some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, and others make it happen. So enjoy your day. I wish every single one of you every success in your business, because if I can do it, trust me, anybody can do it. So I'm just going to go and see if there are any questions here. When you say you need to requalify for everything again, what does that mean? Michelle, just by requalifying for everything, I mean, so I've hit manager now, and what I want to do is I want to keep building my business and I want to keep moving forward. And you hear everybody say, you know, requalify for supervisor. So that simply means doing my, building a supervisor business again with new business, bringing new business owners into my business and helping them do what I'm doing. Because if I'm doing that, I'm going to push through 25 new case credits through my business, and it's going to keep the momentum going. It's going to keep everything fresh, keep new customers coming in, keep new business owners coming in. So that's what I mean by requalifying for everything. And why not set yourself another goal? You know, to get to Eagle, I need to set myself some other goals. So why not just requalify for the supervisor? It's a challenge. I think that's all the questions. So as I say, I hope that has inspired some of you. Yeah, and today is a great day to get to it. It's a new month on Monday, is it? Monday, a new month. So have a great weekend, everybody. And let's get to work, and hope to see you all on stage. Well, actually not on stage, but on the recognition that, I think it's the 20th of June, isn't it? The head office recognition that Bob's doing. So yeah, hope to see lots of you celebrating with me then. Have a lovely day, have a lovely weekend, and see you all very, very soon.